right, let's get pumped up for a championship version of Primetime. We'll relive the Ice Bowl of '67 with the new one of '97. The Patriots didn't exactly give Jacksonville the warmest of welcomes. Will the Pack need a helping hand to get to the Super Bowl? Did the clock strike midnight on the Cinderella Jags? We're in sync for Primetime. Well, not all of us. We tip our caps to the NFL's best on Primetime next. Yes, this is Primetime. No, I am not Chris Berman. Hopefully I can serve as a reasonable facsimile. I'm Dan Patrick. Chris is out with knee surgery, down for a month. We wish him a very speedy recovery. You know these guys. You know each other.
Yeah.
Tom, Joe, Tom. Yep. We'll get their expert analysis on both title games. Hi, Joe. Hi, Tom. We'll get their expert analysis on both games coming up in a moment. Well, the festivities in Foxborough are over. They can finally turn out the lights for good. In the first ever AFC Championship game played at Foxborough, the Patriots emerged victorious over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Please don't call them the Cinderella Jaguars. They proved to be a very formidable foe, just as their previous foes, the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. That final score at Foxborough, it was the New England Patriots winning it by the final of 20-6. We'll have plenty more on this game. We'll have post-game reaction from Foxborough coming up. After a 29-year absence, the NFC title game returned to Titletown as the Packers rolled out the red carpet and green sod for the Carolina Panthers. So while the Pack was hoping to rekindle some history, the Panthers were hoping to reestablish some. Their first ever meeting between these two. Cold at Lambeau, 3 degrees. Packers trying to bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Lombardi's town. Reggie White trying to get to his first ever Super Bowl. Tyrone Poole nearly spoiled the party. First quarter, no score. And Favre headed in his direction. Poole tries to step in and steal the offering. Next Packer play, Sam Mills, the oldest non-kicker to start in a Pro Bowl. Down to the 1, and Lamar Lathan tells Favre, get used to it. Same possession, Kerry Collins, Howard Griffith, the former Fighting Illini, 7-0 Panthers. Joe?
That's a great job. Green Bay's trying to lock up on Wesley Walls, but they wind up leaving Howard Griffith wide open in the end zone. Hardest throw to make for a quarterback.
Pack driving, 3rd and 1, Dorsey Levens, 35 yards down to the Panther 29. He had 88 yards on the day. Tommy?
Yeah, a couple of good blocks help him along here. Jeff Thomason on Kevin Green locks up, does a good job of keeping his hands inside. And Keith Jackson, not known as a really good blocker, fends off Eric Davis enough to spring Levens to the outside.
Second quarter, same drive. Favre, who else? Levens, 29-yard touchdown, corner of the end zone. Joe?
Oh, what a great job by Levens here. Not only does he make the reception, that's the first part of it. You see him go up, and he wrestles it away from Davis. You can't have it. It's mine, Eric. I don't care. But watch his feet. He manages to have one heel hit, left heel down, right heel down, touchdown.
Later in the second quarter, Favre scrambles under pressure, loses the handle. Panthers would recover following the mad scramble. It is Lamar Lathan, the All-Pro, finally gets on top of it. And the Panthers on the move again. Kerry Collins, Mark Carrier. And then Collins, Wesley Walls, holds on despite the pop from Eugene Robinson. That led to a field goal, 10-7 Panthers. The Packers get rolling, though. It's Tickle Me Edgar. Edgar Bennett, 7 yards to the right. He had 99 yards on the day. Bennett again goes right. They picked on Kevin Green's side all afternoon long. Then Favre, right. But Kevin Green stuffs him. A key 3rd and 1. Favre looking for Keith Jackson. Gets nailed by Kevin Green and Chad Cota, but hangs on. Next play, they're not going right, they're going left. But it turns out right. 8 yards for Bennett. 3 plays later, Favre. Andre Rison, a bullet for 20 yards. Next play, Favre continues the surgery. Antonio Freeman, 14-10 Pack. Would the Panthers run out the clock inside a minute? Well, they should have. 40 seconds to go. Collins gets picked by Tyrone Williams. 2 interceptions on the day for Collins. Tommy?
Yeah, great athletic play by Williams, and the thing that impresses most is he keeps his hands underneath the football so it doesn't bounce out as he hits the ground.
Well, the Pack would capitalize. Favre Antonio Freeman. That would set up a field goal. It was 17-10 Packers at halftime, Joe.
And Brett Favre under heavy pressure now is going to hit Don Beebe for 29 yards. He just continues to work. You look at those completions after the first half, comes back, sets, moves a little bit, drops it right off. There goes Beebe, 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 down the field. Now he comes back again. You thought that was good. Watch me now, says Brett. Oh, look out. Here we go. Here we go. Little push pass, first down. Great play by Dorsey Levens.
You look at it again, he had nowhere to go. Just in the grasp of Kevin Green, they didn't call it. The little shovel pass to Edgar Bennett kind of typified Favre's day. He struggled early and then came back. Third quarter, packed by 7, Favre to Levens. 5 catches, 117 yards, 66 of the 117 on this play, down to the Panther 4. Tommy?
It's a great job of patience by the offense, allowing the defense to commit to pass rush, and then Levens with a great job of cutting back against the defense, getting back to the outside. An excellent hustle by Tyrone Poole coming across the field to eventually knock him out.
Edgar Bennett capped the drive, 4 yards out, 27-13 Pack. More problems for the Panthers. Anthony Johnson finally had a hole to run in. Pack recovered, Joe.
Well, watch Gilbert Brown on this one. He has the presence of mind to get his left hand on the ball and cause the fumble. A.J. goes through, looks fine, everything looks good, and whoops, there it is, squirts right out. Butler on top.
Led to a Packer field goal. They win 30-13. They're headed to the Super Bowl, and the Ice Bowl revisited for Mike Holmgren. Brett Favre and Reggie White going to the Super Bowl. Rightfully so. They were the best team during the regular season. Now they'll try to prove that in New Orleans. 30-13, the final to win. Green Bay's 9th straight in the postseason at Lambeau. Favre 19-0 in games where the temperature is under 35 degrees. This will be the Pack's first Super Bowl trip since beating Dallas in the Ice Bowl 29 years ago. Following the game, Andrea Kramer spoke with Edgar Bennett.
You're on your way to the Super Bowl. What does this mean?
It's great for the city of Green Bay. It's great for all the fans here. It's great for the team. It's about time.
How does it feel to get to the Super Bowl and have the biggest game of your career?
I mean, it felt great. We came out here today. Everybody had to step it up. We did it, played great. We're on our way to New Orleans, baby.
All of us were dreaming about this game all week. And it was like we were being tormented, you know, playing the game before we got out and played the game, you know. And so, you know, now it's over. We can relax, and hopefully we can have pleasant dreams.
There's no doubt about it that that team, they belong in New Orleans, and the way we play, we belong in Charlotte.
I've accomplished basically every individual honor there is to accomplish in a short period of time. But to go without a Super Bowl, you know, leaves an empty feeling for me and from our team. You know, it's been a fun ride, but we don't want to stop yet.
Packers did not have a 1,000-yard rusher during the regular season. You would never know that by the way they have run the ball the last 3 weeks. 2 of the last 3 weeks, they've gone over 200 yards, including today.
Well, I think it was an offense early on today struggling to find themselves, and they struggled a little bit in the first quarter of this football game and into the second quarter. Now they established the running game. This is the drive that ends basically the first half of football, and it's where they ran the football that's important. Not at the bubbles in that 30 defense, but off the edges, off the tackle edges to the right side for the most part, and then this last play we're going to see them go up top to the left of your screen, right there at the top of the screen. And again, they're turning the corner, so a great job by the tackles, the guards on the pulls, and the backs finding the creases. And I think that after you start to run the ball, you establish that run game, that begins to make the quarterback comfortable.
It really does. It opens up the passing game. Also, it causes the defense to come up the field if you have Brett Favre there and open up those lanes. But what amazes me so much is Brett Favre started in typical Brett Favre fashion. He came out, he was wild high, he was wild low, he was wild all over the place. That's Brett Favre. The amazing thing, this guy threw 39 touchdown passes during the season, really struggling through the first quarter of most football games. This was just a typical make-a-play, improvisational type of play by Brett Favre.
Plus, you never got the sense that he panicked today.
No. He always looks like he's panicking, but he never does.
I know. And keep in mind, though, here's a guy who showed up at training camp this year and says, Super Bowl or bust.
Exactly.
He knew where this team was headed. And he's headed there because of a pretty good running game. In the last 3 weeks, they've rushed for 573 yards. Let's go inside the numbers to show just how dominating Green Bay was against a very, very talented Panther defense. First 17 games, they had allowed 295 yards. Edgar Bennett, a big reason why The Green Bay Packers exploded for 479 yards. Carolina was averaging 14 points allowed on defense. Today, the Packers go for 30.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
Still to come on Primetime, we haven't forgotten about the AFC festivities. Curtis Martin and the Patriots headed to New Orleans to meet Green Bay. Highlights next. Chris Myers, Monday at 6 Eastern. Still to come on Primetime, the highlights and post-game comments from Foxborough. Mark Brunell, Mark Flunell. We'll have those highlights when we return. Jaguars tried to do on Sunday what hasn't been done in over a decade. We in 3 consecutive postseason road games. The only franchise to pull off that rare three-peat, the same ones that the Jags met in Foxborough. Back in 1985, the Patriots left home to beat the Jets, Raiders, and Dolphins. The reward that year, the same as this year, a trip to New Orleans. We take you to Foxborough. Bill trying to get back to the Super Bowl for a 3rd time. Tom Coughlin, who worked under Parcells with the Giants, trying to go in his 2nd year. Drew Bledsoe, Mark Brunell, the leading contestants. Jaguars' first possession, 3rd and 15. They try to contain Brunell. Brunell scrambles. Chris Slade trips him up from behind, short of the 1st down. Jacksonville will punt. Mike Bartram snap is high. Brian Barker tries to scramble. It's down at the 5. Larry Wiggum, Tommy.
Yeah, Brian Barker took the high snap, but he has to at least attempt to get this ball up. I think he felt like he was getting more pressure than he actually was.
New England would capitalize. Curtis Martin plows in from a yard out, just 2:26 into the game, and the Patriots lead 7-0. Parcells trying to mix things up a little bit on the Pats' next drive. 1st and 10 from the 19. Bledsoe picked off by Aaron Beasley. Off the deflection, Jacksonville takes over at their own 22-yard line. Jaguars would get it going, and they would get it going by Mark Brunell. Only 4 of the quarterbacks have thrown for more yards in a season than Brunell did. He finds Jimmy Smith, 23-yard gain. 3rd and 8, Brunell again looking for Pete Mitchell. 1st down in Patriots territory. Then it's Brunell looking for Mitchell again. 8 yards. Brunell with the time to throw, Joe.
He had some pretty good time all day, and that's because Tony Pacelli did a darn good job on Willie McGinnis most of the day. Willie chased him around a little bit, but Willie's not going to take much from Pacelli.
3rd and 3 from the Pats 15. Chris Slade pressures Brunell into a bad throw. Jags would settle for a field goal. It was 7-3. Still 7-3. Pats punting. Chris Hudson fields it. Fumbles. New England gets the ball at the Jags' 20-yard line following the fumble. And they're in business. That would set up a 29-yard field goal. Adam Vinatieri, and the lights went out. A blown transformer at the stadium caused referee Jerry Markwright to stop the game for 12 minutes. But that could not postpone the inevitable. Vinatieri, 29-yard field goal, 10-3 Pats. 30 seconds to go in the 1st half. Parcells wants to go for it. 4th and 3, Jacksonville 45. Bledsoe, it's Ben Coates, 1st down. Time winding down. 2nd and 11, Bledsoe. Sean Jefferson for 38 yards. That would set up another field goal. 13-3 Pats at halftime. 3rd quarter, Natron Means, who had left the game with a sore ankle, was back. He picks up 9. 4th and inches at New England's 30. Brunell, the quarterback sneak. Not even close. Ted Johnson, the big surge. 3 plays later, Bledsoe fumbles, and the Patriots lose the ball. Eddie Robinson recovers. Brunell scrambling for the 1st down, leaps over Scooter Magruder to pick up the 1st down, Tommy.
Yeah, great presence of mind by Brunell as he leaps over Magruder right there, and that's the way go get a 1st down.
That would set up a 27-yard field goal for Jacksonville. 13-6 Pats. Bledsoe back to pass. Hit by Don Davey. Fumbles. Patriots maintain possession. Vinatieri, 46-yard field goal, and they still can't put Jacksonville away. 13-6. 8:42 to go. Brunell, Keenan McCardle to the Patriots' 47-yard line. Brunell, Pete Mitchell to the Patriots' 33. 2 plays later, Brunell, the blitz is on, finds McCardle for 8 yards, but on the play, Brunell cut his throwing hand on a helmet. That set up 2nd and goal from the 5. Brunell, and he did not see Willie Clay. The touchback, Patriots ball at the 20. Brunell knows time is slipping away. Patriots ball 3rd and 6. Bledsoe, incomplete to Keith Byers. And the Jaguars would get the little more playing time with Means hurt. He can only watch and wonder. Tom Coughlin sees the end of the season. Bill Parcells, this is the 10-year anniversary of the Gatorade dump, made popular by Bill's former team, the Giants. Drew Bledsoe going to the Super Bowl. And I think they want some cheese. Whether they want them or not, they're going to get them. The home team 8-2 in the playoffs in 1996. In the 90s, the home team in the playoffs 52-18. Brunell, 2 interceptions. He went 20 of 38 for 190 yards. Natron Means limited to just 43 yards, but he was playing on a banged-up foot. Bledsoe, 1 interception, 178 yards. Curtis Martin, 19 of 59 for 1 touchdown. Following the game, Willie McGinnis talked about the victory.
We knew what we had to do to go in. We played a tough team today. They kept coming at us. They never quit. There's just a lot of emotion going. I don't know. I mean, we just wanted it bad. We just wanted it bad. And we knew for us to win, we was going to have to stop him. And we came out and we did that. But they're a great team, and we're going to represent the AFC like we're supposed to.
Looked like you hid back there in the end zone. Did Brunell not see you?
I don't think he seen me. I came from another side. Me and Otis had a double. I just read Brunell's eyes and stepped in front of whoever the receiver was.
Otis, turnover is a big part of this football game for your defense. Tell me about yours.
Well, I was coming up to make the tackle, and one of my guys hit him, and the ball popped up, and I just scooped and scored. Thank God, I was in the right position. He's been putting me in the right position all year, and I'm happy for myself, happy for my teammates, and I'm proud we're going down south.
This was supposed to be an offensive showcase. You got to give credit to Bill Parcells, and I know that most of his assistant coaches are defensive-minded, and he certainly is, but he did a tremendous job preparing for Jacksonville.
I think anytime you get to this level, Dan, you could sort of put offense on the side, and defense really steps up. 2 things, and Tommy's dad used to say this all the time. You got to stop the run. You have to be able to run the football if you want to win championship games, and that's exactly what New England did today. They contained Natron Means. This is the first play of the game. They've sent a message early to Jacksonville. We're not letting you run. Then he comes on another running play. Doesn't get very far. Then he dropped by Willie McGinnis, who I think had a heck of a day today. Then all of a sudden, one more time, let me go outside. No way. What they did defensively, New England, is they just weren't going to allow Means outside. But I will say this. This particular loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars hurts bad because they know that they had opportunities to win this football game.
Yeah, the other thing that I think New England did on the defensive side of the ball was made up their mind that they were going to contain Mark Brunell, especially when he tried to escape the pocket to his left side, to his throwing arm, something that the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills did not do a good job of. And I think you credit Willie McGinnis, you credit Chris Slade, but the game plan, they stayed within the confines of the game plan. And if you play the game and do what the coaches say, I think you're going to have success.
Joe, we watched the game together, and we were in agreement, total agreement, that there's a time in the game when you just don't look at Drew Bledsoe and say, I'm confident with what he's doing. He seems to have a lapse in every game. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and look towards the Super Bowl. That has to be an issue for Bill Parcells. Is it concentration? Is it just lack of confidence sometimes?
Dan, you know what it really is more than anything? It's a guy trying to make plays for his football team, and the quarterback position is the one you do it. You'll see it from Brett Favre in the Super Bowl. You'll see it from Drew Bledsoe in the Super Bowl. I think Drew made a couple of bad decisions. A couple of times the ball got away from him. The interception, he was just trying to force it in. But he comes back and makes a great throw to Sean Jefferson, and you couldn't appreciate how great a throw this was because it was into the wind. So all he's really trying to do, Dan, is make plays, and you can't fault the guy for doing that. He's just got to be a little more careful the way he tries to make them.
Yeah, the other thing I want to say about that New England defense is that the job was made a little bit easier for them because of something Sterling commented on this morning. They played a zone philosophy behind their front so that they were always looking at the quarterback. They could see what was happening in front of them rather than running away from the quarterback, as most teams do.
And you give Bill Parcells 2 weeks to prepare for an opponent.
It'll be good.
And speaking of Bill, he is the second head coach to take 2 different teams to the Super Bowl. Don Shula did that with the Colts and the Dolphins, and he's doing it once again with defense. Let's go inside the numbers to take a closer look at how this Patriots defense has really risen to the occasion. They got roughed up in Week 12 against Denver. They were spanked 34-8, but in the last 7 games, they've allowed an average of 77 yards rushing, 10 points per game, and as a result, 6-1. Still to come on Prime Time, we hand out our game balls, the much coveted primetime game balls.
McDonald's Not So Risky predictions for 1997. The Cable Man will say 11, but arrive at 6. And you will desire a deluxe sandwich, each with fresh toppings and a bakery soft roll. And who needs 159 channels anyway? McDonald's Deluxe Sandwiches.
Come on, Scott, give me a fry. America's favorite fries. McDonald's. Go get them. Please.
Get your own, man.
Primetime Players is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. The way we call collect today.
Yes, it is the coveted primetime game ball. I'm proud to hand mine out to Dorsey Levens, the man known as the Horse, the former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, 88 yards rushing, 117 yards receiving, and a touchdown.
Well, my game ball's got to go to Brett Favre. You don't get to the big show and win it without a quarterback there. He does a little forward pass, two-handed job. You see him scramble forward. Good numbers, 19 for 29, 2 TDs, Tommy.
And my game ball, Joe, goes to Willie McGinnis. It doesn't show up in the numbers, but he did a good job of containment, a good job of helping to stop the run. Most importantly, he stayed within the confines of the game plan. We'll be back.
With football, you have all sorts of injuries. Here we have Bruce Smith maintaining that knee. This is Thurman Thomas's hamate bone fracture, metatarsus fracture. Oh, here's an interesting one. Hey, Bruce.
Huh?
Remember this?
Oh, yeah. That was the rookie that used to dial 0 instead of 1-800-COLLECT. He could have saved me up to 44%. Big rookie mistake. 1-800-COLLECT. Save the people you call up to 44%.
Nighttime's the worst time for my heartburn. If I don't block the stomach acid fast, I don't sleep. So which blocks the acid faster? New Tagamet HB 200. It has more acid blockers than Pepsid AC. So Tagamet works faster to block acid. That doesn't mean it's stronger. It's just faster. And it lasts for hours. So I can get to sleep.
New Tagamet HB 200. More acid blockers help block acid faster.
Only from Domino's new Garlic Crunch Crust Pizza. Roasted garlic baked right into the dough. Wow. Call now and ask for any large one-topping pizza, just $9.99. And get any second one-topping pizza, $4.99.
Wow, call Domino's now.
Presenting a space-age innovation in televised college basketball. It's called ESPN Full Court. It gives you tons of great college hoops action you couldn't get otherwise. Call your cable operator or DirecTV for ESPN Full Court.
New England against Green Bay. We got a couple of weeks, 6:18 Eastern. They promised they will kick off then. In case you're wondering, the last time they met, 1994, the Patriots beat the Packers at Foxborough 17-16. Green Bay has already been established as a 2-touchdown favorite in this one. SportsCenter will be there, sun up to sundown, and even later than that. From New Orleans, we start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, the week of Super Bowl 31. All right, you're the patron saint of the AFC. Let's start with you.
Thank you.
No, I've sat next to you at some Super Bowls, Tommy.
Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, the last one in New Orleans, I sat next to you when Denver got roughed up. Yeah. Am I going to go through that again?
Well, I hope not. I think that there are 3 or 4 things that will factor into this game for the AFC. Number one, they have to do a good job in the running game, both offensively and defensively. They have to do a better job than people have done stopping the Green Bay Packers, and you have to run Curtis Martin. As Dan mentioned earlier, I think if you give Bill Parcells 2 weeks to prepare for a football game, he will come up with something that his ball club and the skills of his ball club can adapt to. And then third, Drew Bledsoe has to play well. I don't think you can win the Super Bowl without your quarterback playing well. And then I think mentality may play in the favor of the New England Patriots. You've got a major favorite, and then you've got a team that I don't think after today's game goes in with a false sense of security.
Well, I know you talk about the way that Drew Bledsoe, or excuse me, the way Bill Parcells tries to put together a football program to stop somebody. You can design all the plans you want against Brett Favre. The problem is he takes and makes you throw him out the window, because once the ball is snapped, then he drops back. Then all of a sudden he starts looking to scramble. You don't know where he's going to go, so it's very difficult to defend him.
Bill Parcells 2-0 in previous Super Bowls. Green Bay 2-0 in Super Bowls. Next time you will see us, we'll be in New Orleans. For Tommy, Joe, and the entire Primetime crew, we thank you for joining us. Good night. But the Devils and Rangers are next. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement,